Deconstruction has started on the Rieju Marathon 125 project build. Oh dear.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. So, yes, the work has started on the project build. Deconstruction has taken place. So let me tell you what I've started and what I've done already, because yesterday was quite a big day in the workshop. And well, just have a look at this for a start. As you can see, it's pretty destroyed. Anyway, let me get into it and tell you exactly what I've done and the issues that I've come across so far. So one of the first things is I don't have a manual, workshop manual or anything, so I'm just kind of repairing things as I go and waiting for a couple of manuals to arrive. But a lot of things needed repairing or will need repairing, and the more I've dug into it, the more I've found, unfortunately. So let's just start with electrical. Okay, so the bike had a tail tidy here, and it came down to there, but it wasn't working. The indicators weren't working properly, the electrics weren't working. It was all horrible. Under there, all the wires are all cut or broken or almost bare as well. So basically, with the sale, I got the original tail section here. So basically that's what I've done. I've reinstalled that, redone all the wiring, and even got the number plate lamp working as well. Put new indicators on front and rear as well. So that took up a good portion of the day, just doing all the wiring front and rear. I think it's fair to say that whenever you buy a used bike, especially one that you can tell has been trashed a little bit, you're going to find lots of horrors with it. And as we know, you don't really know what previous owners have done to it or attempted to do to it. So in this case, on this bike, yeah, there's lots of stuff that's been done, and it just either age or just not done properly, or it's just deteriorated. So electrical is one thing. So if you watch the previous video, I had problems in starting it as well, and I thought it might be the starter solenoid. Let me show you that. So basically on this bike, it's here, and basically it was just clicking and nothing was working. Then eventually it would fire into life. Actually, I found it wasn't the starter solenoid. What it was the contacts, which are behind there now. Let me see if I can dig them out for you. Those connectors there, basically they were corroded really, so clean them off and it started firing up, no problem at all. So that was a problem solved. Okay, so the other thing I did was reset the rear tyre and retension the chain as well. So that's better, but this wheel has to come off because I need to address the brakes front and rear. I'm looking at possibly a rebuild of both brake calipers, but definitely need new pads as well, so I've ordered the pads. Funny enough, actually on this bike the brake pads are exactly the same front and rear. I'm going to wait to see if they come and arrive, but I've got an online parts manual and it's exactly the same part from EBC brake pads, so we'll see. But they're in a shocking state. The brake light switch, the rear brake light switch, also doesn't work, and it's actually it's a pressure switch as well. Let me show you. So there you go. That's the brake cylinder, master cylinder right there, and the pressure switch is right there. And you've got a cable that comes out and joins up to this one, which is basically this connector here, and it's just broken there. So that's a really cheap part, about £6 or £7 or so. I've ordered that. That'll be coming as well. Right, so a lot of electrical, a lot of adjustment, lots of work around the bike to see what else needed doing. Okay, so the other thing was the exhaust, which basically I got off eventually and had a look at it and assess what needs to be done. So there you go. Here's the exhaust. It was rattling inside the cylinder head, and it didn't have an exhaust gasket, would you believe? So there we go. Also, the stud came out on one side. Thanks for that. And yeah, it looks pretty awful, I gotta say. So that's that. I mean, this is just completely in the cold light of day, this probably needs a new stud, so I'm going to source a new stud for that as well. But it's all totally cracked here. Not sure if you can see that there. Totally cracked. So that's going to need re-welding. So I'll get to doing that as well. So new exhaust gasket, re-welding here. You know, the work just piles on. Yeah, wheels had to be taken off. Then the front end was completely taken off after sorting out all the wiring at the top. So I've ordered a brand new front brake master cylinder and lever, and also clutch lever as well, and bracket. I took off the clutch cable and completely lubed that. That was really tight. Then I took the whole front end off, and basically I knew I'd need new bearings, steering bearings, but look at this. Look at this, completely rusted, just horrible, horrible, horrible. So these need total, well, new bearings of course, but this needs totally cleaning up here. It was just, I mean, look at that. So yeah, terrible really. I mean, that, I don't think that's seen grease in years. It's only a 2016 bike, so you can see the kind of level of abuse this has had, or neglect I would say. Yes, the top engine mount has broken. That needs re-welding, so I'll show you that. Basically right there. So I'm going to have to take all of this out, the fuel tank, access the top there. The top mount is bolted to the frame this side, and also on the top of the engine there. So I'm going to have to take that out, and then I'm going to have to re-weld that, find a way of re-welding that as well. So a few successes yesterday, basically in deconstruction. And just finding lots of problems. So basically what I did, retension the chain and lubed it as well. So I removed the old tail tidy and all the bad electrics and all the wiring, put the original tail section on and put new indicators on, and completely went through all the wiring. Got the number plate wiring harness and bulb working as well. Removed all the plastics. You can see, yeah, that part shelf is all full of parts now. So there we go, removed all the plastics, and there's lots of fasteners that are broken or missing. So I mean, that's a simple fix really, just get new bolts for those. Yeah, remove the exhaust, and yeah, that needs welding, so parts have ordered for the exhaust gasket as well. Also I had to fully recharge the battery as well, because it just wasn't firing over, so that took a couple of hours, but I got a good fast charger here, so that was all good. Added a top bolt to the fuel tank, because the fuel tank was completely unsecured. It was just rested on there, would you believe. Yeah, I removed the clutch cable and lubed that up as well. Now, as I say, I have ordered a front brake master cylinder and the clutch lever bracket as well, but also the brake light switch on the front doesn't work as well. So I had to test the circuit. So I mean, they're really cheap to buy, but I'm hoping that the new brake master cylinder and lever kit that I've got, that I've ordered, actually comes with a switch. If not, I'll just have to quickly buy one for a couple of quid or whatever they are. Oh yeah, the horn, yeah, the horn wasn't working as well. Again, poor connectors, so just redid those, cleaned them all off, and it was working fine, especially after the battery was fully charged as well. The brake calipers, yeah, as I say, I'll quickly mention those. I've ordered new brake pads for front and rear, but I think I'm actually trying to now look for caliper rebuild kits. So if you ride one of these, you're interested in a Rieju Marathon 125, and you know where you can get rebuild kits for the calipers, please drop it in the comments below. Yeah, also when I remove the wheel, the front wheel, I've got a feeling that one of the spacers is missing, but I'm gonna check that out a little bit more. I just have to look at the diagrams a little bit more, but it just appears to me that one side is just a little loose, and if I find something, I'll let you know in a subsequent video as well. Yeah, the steering head bearings, this was all removed. The front forks were removed. They're probably the best thing on the bike actually, because they're absolutely solid, no problem. They're just lent up over there. Fork seals are absolutely fine, but this needs complete attention. I've ordered the parts, they're coming in a couple of days or whatever. Lots of work has done. Total destruction or deconstruction of the bike, pretty much. So just waiting for the parts to come and then start to piece it back together. So at this stage, as I've said in the previous video, I'm not restoring the bike. What I'm doing is just getting it mechanically and electrically right to be ridden on the road. So I've just taken it off the road now, it's registered off the road, but it's got an MOT until November, I think it is. But anyway, so I'm going to get it right, then put it back on the road. Then my plan is to ride it until the autumn, something like that, have a bit of fun with it. Then in the winter, winter, bring it back here and then completely take it apart and do a full restoration on it as well. So then I'll have a much better understanding of also the engine, because that engine is going to have to be split as well with that with the clutch and also the gearing as well. So I'm going to try and just make do with it and see how it goes before, you know, totally rip it apart. So this is more about finding all the problems with it and trying to rectify them right now. So there's a long list. There's a long list of stuff to do, and there's still a lot more to do as well. But anyway, I thought I'd let you know what is going on in the workshop. As you can see, it's yeah, it's a bit of a mess right now. At some point, it might come together. We'll see. Anyway, if you've got any experience with these bikes, drop some info in the comments as well, where I can source parts, info, that kind of thing, because as I say, this is very early days for me, so I'm just finding my feet and trying to work around it and trying to replace the parts as I can. But anyway, I'm going to dig into this and try and access this engine mount, and that'll be well, welding for the next couple of days. Cheers, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com. Ta-da!